welcome to my second live event here on using StreamYard's platform. I'm still being challenged slightly with the technology, so a couple of minutes late. But hey, welcome into to this event today. I'm going to be talking about gender. This 30 days of going live is all going to be about gender, and I thought probably a good idea to start off with just a little chat about what is gender, because all of those books, the things I mentioned yesterday, the End of Gender and the Madness of Crowds, those kind of books are coming out and challenging the idea that there are more than two genders. Now, you may know that I did a TEDx talk back 5 years ago now in Warwick, and I had quite a lot of comments on there. I'll be honest, one of the most common comments is there are only two genders, and usually added with a little bit of very colorful language, but it's a misunderstanding. Now, the recent book End of Gender has come out with the whole idea there are only two genders, that's it, but they're getting it wrong, because that's not gender. What they're talking about is biology, and the whole book is really about the science, saying it's all about biology. Gender isn't about biology. People are also claiming gender is not a social construct. Yes, it is. The word gender, as applied to human beings, as applies to you and I, was developed to be a social construct. It was first used back in the 1950s by a man called John Money, and I'll be talking about him quite a lot in the future. He's a man who you can love to hate. He did some positive things, but he also did some really negative things in the way in which intersex people were treated. But he was talking about gender as gender roles, and that was how the term was first used and applied. And it was picked up then by the whole second wave feminism into the 1960s and 70s. And it was looking at how are we treated by people, how are we treated by our parents, by society, by everyone around us because of our sex. And this is the issue. We've got this difference between sex and gender, which is what's confusing so many people. So we're talking about what is gender. Let's just for a minute think about sex. And if you think about forms, when you get sex M, F or M or F on it, now it nearly always says gender M or F. Is that the same thing? Is that the same question? On my workshops, I get people to go away and actually think about this and discuss it in some depth, but I haven't got time today and I haven't got the ability to do that. But here's the thing. Why did we stop saying sex, M or F? It was nothing to do with the fact that we brought in gender. We're beginning to use it. This is the reason when people saw this question on a form, sex, M or F, that's the answer they gave. Yes, please. And that's the problem. Everybody gets sex and gender confused. Sex is totally different to gender. Sex is about biology. It's about bodily functions. But also, and the thing everybody forgets, most of the time when we talk about sex, we're not talking about whether somebody's male or female. We're talking about getting it on. We're talking about having it. We're talking about sexual activity. And every time anything to do with sex comes up, that's what happens. Sexual activity gets in the way. It's not about male or female. It's about having it. When anybody thinks about homosexuality, the first thing they think about is how do they have sex? When people know I'm transgender, the first question I get, have you had it cut off? No, I'm not. I'm really serious. A lot of people, just people who wouldn't expect it from, oh, you're transgender. Oh, so you've been through the whole thingy? They're just too embarrassed to say, have you had your penis removed? Everybody is focused on sex. I will come back to it time and time again in these short seminars, and I'm dealing with it in quite a lot of detail on the workshop so that people can understand just exactly what is going. But gender is a social construction. Sorry about that. Gender is the way we are treated because of our sex, because of our perceived sex. So what happened to we're born? People take one quick glance at our genitals, and on the basis of has a penis, doesn't have a penis, it's a boy, it's a girl. Now, from that point onwards, we start applying gendered rules to the child. All of a sudden, it's a girl, it's more delicate. No, it's not. There's nothing different in terms of physical strength. We're in a baby boy and a baby girl. They're both delicate. They both need to be cared. But for some reason, because it's a boy, we bounce it off the ceiling. If it's a girl, it's all sweet and cute. We see things differently. And we've seen this all the time. We've seen lots of experiments where people are being given a child dressed in the wrong clothes. Yeah, a baby girl dressed as a boy, everybody treats it as a boy. Give them a baby girl, dress it in boys' clothes, they'll treat it as a baby boy. Yeah. We treat a child on the basis of what we think its gender is, and therefore there's a set of gender rules, different adjectives. Now, I know there's a whole issue and battle over whether boys prefer construction and mechanical toys and girls prefer dolls. And there's a reasonable amount of evidence to suggest that girls do seem, they're all girls, but a large proportion of girls seem to be more drawn to dolls and boys seem to be more drawn to mechanical and colourful toys. Now, I don't know whether that happens from the day, because we're gendering them from, not just from day one anymore, we're gendering right from the moment a child's in the womb. We're thinking about it. You know, we've had a gender reveal party and then we're already buying pink toys or the pink room. We're gendering from the moment we know whether the child is a boy or a girl. We're applying social rules. So are there more than two genders? Yes, there are. There are lots more than two genders, because there are a lot of people like me born who don't fit with all those rules, don't feel comfortable with the fact that I was being brought up a boy, didn't feel comfortable with the way in which my future had been mapped out in terms of what I was expected to do. And a lot of people have that challenge. They're born with a body, and somewhere inside their brain, their gender identity doesn't fit with the physical body. I'm going to look at that in the future in a little bit more detail, but I just wanted to try and get this sense of what is gender. Gender is about the way in which people, society, everyone treats us because of their understanding of whether we're male or female. So when people say, are you male or female? And I say no, now they have no idea how to treat me, because they have a set of rules for treating people who are men or who are boys. There's a set of rules for how to treat people if they're girls or female. But if I say I'm not either, we don't have any rules for that. And that's one of the challenges we're having to deal with in this new emerging society, where increasing numbers of particularly younger people are coming out and saying, I'm not male, I'm not female, I'm a demi-boy, I'm a demi-girl, I'm not going to get too much into all that language and labels. I'm going to deal with that later. But if you really want to find out, I'm going to be dealing with that on my workshops. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow here on GenderSpeaker, on the GenderSpeaker show. Take care.